I come to university where I'm like, yeah, let's do this, let's get this party started, and they're like, oh, boys have to be out by 10. Ladies, personal hygiene is very important. As a woman, he has to put a signature, you have to put a signature. 7 different regulations just to sign in one boy. I was like, I'm too grown for this. So what if I come back from Long Street and one of the big boys have given me Dom Perignon and I want to keep it in Reese? So I'm supposed to throw away my Dom Perignon because I can't keep it in Reese. My bar fridge literally just had juice and, you know, snacks and stuff like that. No alcohol at all. So out of nowhere in the night you just hear Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Welcome back if you are a returning subscriber, and if you are new, welcome to my channel. I am very happy that you made it here. Today I'm going to be filming like a little video on why I moved out of UCT Rays. I've had this question asked to me a lot. So before we get into this video around here, before we watch the video, we like the video. So I'm just gonna give you guys 3 seconds to like my video before you watch it. 3, 2, 1, and like this video because I've got a test tomorrow, an economics test, mind you. I've got a test tomorrow and I'm here filming this for you guys. So yeah, I'm going to be filming a video on why I moved out of UCT Rays today. I have had this question asked to me in one of my videos, and someone actually did DM me on Instagram why I decided to move out of UCT Rays, considering I'm only in 2nd year and I moved out right after 1st year. So yeah, I'm just going to be, I just wrote down like a couple of points that I was just like brainstorming. I've just been thinking about it over time ever since I moved out. If you don't know, I now live in private accommodation off campus, so this is not any like UCT campus accommodation. It's more like a private place. It's got like parents, working people and stuff. It's completely out of you know, the UCT range, but it is close to campus. So yeah, I did decide to move out right after 1st year. I stayed in Gracia Michelle Hall, which is probably, I would say, the best UCT Rays. I don't know if I've heard that the Woolsack on middle campus is also really nice, but I used to stay in Gracia and I really liked Gracia. I think it was definitely the cleanest, the newest building. It's not an old building. So yeah, Gracia was definitely very nice. I was really excited when I moved to Gracia because I was actually supposed to be in Avenue Road Rays before I moved to Gracia, but then I registered really late at UCT. I came to registration very late, so by the time that I got to Avenue, apparently all the female rooms had been taken, of which Avenue Road is a unisex race. And yeah, so I decided to move out after 1st year for quite a number of reasons. I did really like UCT Rays, but then at the same time I think I realized after 1st semester that it wasn't for me. And I did tell my mom, I told my mom around this time of the year last year, around May, June, my mom knew by May that next year I was definitely going to try to make a plan to move out. I did write down a couple of points. The first point that I have for why I moved out of UCT Rays is definitely because of the noise. Let us just get into the noise. I don't think this is just Gracia Michelle. I think this is actually all of the races combined. The noise is absolutely terrible. Considering the degree that I'm doing, it just wasn't balancing for me. I did notice that there was a downfall in my grades because of the noise levels. I just couldn't focus. Sometimes studying at night I really struggled with because of the noise. You would sometimes hear people screaming, people laughing, people walking in the corridors at 2 a.m, 3 a.m, because there's a number of different people that are doing completely different degrees at Rays, absolutely different degrees. People are doing music, people are doing medicine, XI, commerce, drama, arts and sports, and there's just so many different types of degrees going on, to the point that not everyone is going to be conscious of the fact that you're studying. So I remember there were a lot of disputes in the groups actually, that guys, can you please be quiet, we're trying to study, can you please, and people would be like, okay fine, 30 minutes, then the noise would go down. Then after 30 minutes people started talking again, people started making noise. You'd wake up 6 a.m in the morning because some people they sleep during the afternoon, so other other people go to lectures during the afternoon, and some people are up all night, other people are sleeping all night. So there was just a lot of clashing to me. And I mean, that's the university experience, I guess, but there was just a lot of clashing and noises. People would wake up and play music, bare music at night. People were playing amapiano at night, and it's like, guys, we're trying to study. It's a Tuesday. And there were just days when I really couldn't stand. I mean, you'd want to be that girl or that boy who's just telling everyone to keep quiet. You become a very annoying person. So sometimes I would actually just be quiet about it and go study on campus or something, of which it's not always fun going onto campus. Sometimes it's really late and you just want to be in the comfort of your own room, but then because of noise you can't be. So yeah, noise was definitely the number one factor as to why I moved out of UCT. It just wasn't a conducive environment for studying. And yeah, although despite the complaints, I'm someone who likes to work in bare silence. I'm always like, it's always really quiet around me. I don't even like studying with music in the background. So yeah, I just couldn't stand the noise. That's probably the biggest factor. Oh my gosh, I forgot to mention the fire drills. Oh, there's one thing I remember about staying at Res, it is the fire drills. Like the first fire drill that we had, I think it was around February. We had just moved into Res. It was probably 3 weeks down the line, and out of nowhere in the night you just hear whir, 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 and everyone's going, what is going on? Then people are like, there's a fire, because we didn't know it was a drill then. Like, they didn't tell us. They won't tell you there's a fire drill next week Wednesday. They will just do it out of nowhere because it's a drill, so you have to be caught unprepared. So there were days when you would just wake up in the middle of the night. It was like, I think it was like a Wednesday evening. It's like 3 a.m. in the morning and the fire alarm is just going crazy, and people are saying, get out of your rooms, there's a fire. Like, people actually genuinely said there was a fire, not the fire that you guys saw on when there was actually a fire at the library on Upper, but this was just a fire drill. We went outside, we were all wearing our pajamas and gowns. Some people were like some people were like half dressed, some people were like fully dressed, and it was just a whole lot of chaos. Then we went outside, they had to take our student numbers, and this happened I think 4 times last year. There was a fire drill every semester, I think maybe 2 or 3 times a semester, and it would be very annoying. Sometimes you'd be sleeping. For these fire drills to be happening so frequently, it would get very annoying. Sometimes I would be extremely tired at night, and for me to like be going to bed and then an hour later I'm being woken up by a fire alarm, it was absolutely annoying. So yeah, my second point is the food. I'm not somebody who absolutely loves to cook, but I do generally like to eat good food. I don't like to, eat food that I feel turned off by eating the food. I want to eat, something that I've seen how it's been cooked, I've seen who cooked it, I've seen, what they've put in the food. So yeah, the food at UCT isn't, I don't know if I can say it's terrible. Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, sometimes there's really good food. I know they make like chicken pasta, or sometimes they would, I think once or twice they gave us lasagna. Sometimes they really whipped out something nice, and then other times it was absolutely terrible. I can't even, all my friends are never at Res because they're always out eating. People just never want to be at Res because of the food. People just ordering out. I don't think there's a day when you don't actually walk past reception and there's no delivery guy. There's always Mr. D or Uber Eats outside reception because people cannot stand the food. I'm not gonna lie, the food can be pretty terrible. The mashed potato and the butternut was really gross. The spinach was really, it's mostly the vegetables that were actually not pretty bad, but then the meat, it was a lot of chicken, a lot of beef, a lot of potatoes. That was literally what Res food was like. Chicken, beef, potatoes, chicken, beef, rice, chicken, beef, salad, I don't know, but there was always chicken and beef and sometimes fish. So yeah, it was just very repetitive meals, which I mean, it is standard Res food, but yeah, I just sometimes couldn't stand the food. There were days when I wouldn't even want to eat, And I remember like in first semester, like just adjusting to the food, my aunt like came to see me and she's like, Inga wonder. And I was like, so my aunt would really like, she was really noticing that like I'm actually not eating. I would have to try like force myself to eat sometimes. Like the food was just not it, guys. It was just not it. But the benefit of UCT race food is that you do have a cooked, prepared meal every day. At breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you've got food every day. You don't have to cook for yourself. You come back from school and you're tired and there's food. Unlike me now, like I come back from school and sometimes my kitchen is bare empty and I'm like, shit, I have to start cooking. So yeah, the benefit is you do get food, but yeah, the food is not very great. There were strikes sometimes in the kitchens, like the chefs would strike, and then we would get these meal vouchers, and then you'd get these meal vouchers. Then we could go to Debonair's. We'd gone to Maine and we can get food. You can get Pizza Hut, you can get Nando's, you could get Steers, get sushi. We would get like 50 rand meal vouchers, and because the kitchen was closed, the chefs were striking, so there was no one cooking food, so we'd get those meal vouchers. And people were like thinking to themselves, like, why doesn't UCT just actually do this as our meal thing? Like maybe like every 2 weeks we get meal vouchers for the whole week or something, which is something that I think they should actually implement. And then, you know, it's good business for the restaurants on Main, and people generally do enjoy takeout more than they do enjoy eating the food. So yeah, we would get meal vouchers when there were strikes. So when there were strikes, we were actually pretty happy because we were going to go and eat takeout. So yeah, the UCT race food is definitely something that needs to be worked on. It's not absolutely terrible, but if you are a picky eater, I'm telling you, you're going to struggle. You will struggle with the food. Third point is freedom. Oh my goodness, how do I even say this? Just the freedom of the freedom that I had in high school was completely different to the freedom that I had in first year university, because my mom is a very liberal parent. I think you guys kind of got the gist of how my mom is from, you know, my video with her, my wholesome vlog with my mom and my brother, and you guys just noticed that, you know, my mom she's very chill. So in high school I didn't have like, you know, too many restrictions on me. Curfew, obviously I had curfew, like you have to be back home by midnight and stuff. I could go out whenever I wanted most of the time in high school, and I wouldn't get disciplined if I came home after curfew. She would obviously be angry, but like I wouldn't get disciplined. Now I come to UCT and it's like disciplinary hearings if you're back to raise after midnight, and I'm like, we are university students. We will definitely be out partying. I guess it was because of COVID. First of all, let me just say it was because of COVID. But then the fact that we would get disciplinary hearings for coming back after late is what made me like really hate the system. Like I guess, yeah, they're trying to get people to be back by midnight, but it was really like, you know, I got 2 disciplinary hearings in second semester. I think I got 1 in first semester. So altogether I got 3 last year. 3 disciplinary hearings, guys. Some people didn't even get any, of which 2 of them were because I was studying on upper. And I tried to explain to them that, you know, I was on upper studying, I had work to do. It's not like I came back from the club, I was wasted or anything. I did come back once with my friends and, you know, we were a bit late, but most of the time it was actually generally because I was studying. I would come back maybe like at 1:15 midnight from upper, and you know, it's a whole issue. I'd get a disciplinary hearing. You actually had a disciplinary hearing where they would, the panel or the Grasha superiors, I don't know what to call them, but the wardens would sit you down on a Zoom or Teams meeting, and you'd have to explain why you've got a disciplinary hearing, what you were doing at that time, and you'd have to validate your excuse for coming back late. So yeah, there was just a lot of little freedom issues that I was a bit like, okay guys, come on, we're 19 or 20, some people are 21 in here, and you're disciplining them for coming back 5 minutes after midnight. Like, it was just very unnecessary. I did not find the DC hearings very fair as well. People would get DCs because maybe you signed somebody out late, or you know, just because you had to sign out your guests by 10 o'clock. That's another thing. You're not allowed to have boys in, because Grasha is all female race, so you're not allowed to have boys in Grasha after 10. And it's like, we come from high school where we're with guys until like midnight. Then I come to university where I'm like, yeah, let's do this, let's get this party started. And they're like, oh, boys have to be out by 10. And I'm like, yeah. So it's just a lot of different things. There were absolutely no boys allowed to sleep over. No sleepovers with boys at all. So most of the time, if you want to go see your boyfriend or you want to go see your man or something like that, you'd have to go to his place, or I don't know if he lives off campus, but you aren't allowed to have your man sleep over, or and these are things that I'm saying because we're grown now. Like these are things that people want to do in university. People want to explore, people want to meet new people and try out new things. Even if it's not your boyfriend, you want to have friends over, maybe like a group of friends. Even girls aren't allowed to be in Grasha or aren't allowed to be signed into raise after 10 o'clock. So there were just a lot of different things where it's like, we're in university, we shouldn't even have to be signing in to come into raise. Like, we should be able to just walk in freely, and but I guess rules are rules, and they do it to regulate and to make sure that people are safe, to make sure that people don't get raped as well, because there were a couple of rape cases last year. I think there were 2 major rape cases at UCT last year, so I guess they're trying to avoid things like that. But you get what I mean. There was just things like, if I can't even have my girlfriend from another different race in at 11 o'clock, then what am I even at uni for? Because school is a lot. So just the freedom of being able to have people over, and you're not allowed to sign in more than 2 people at once. There were so many rules, guys. That's really probably why I moved out, because of the rules. You're not allowed to sign in more than 2 guests at once. So let's say I want to sign in 2 of my friends from a different race. I have to go and call one of my other friends from Grasha to come and sign in one of my friends, then I sign in the other, just for 2 of my friends to be able to be in Grasha at the same time. So there were just a lot of different rules that I was like, okay, this is a bit ridiculous. We are grown now, we should be able to do this. But yeah, I guess it's for regulation, and I can't fight the system. So yeah, the 5th point is there was no alcohol allowed in race. I don't know if I would say I'm a certified alcoholic, but come on, we are in university, guys. You cannot be saying we're not allowed alcohol in race. You were allowed to drink outside, but let's say I want to go take a shot. Does this mean I have to walk out of race to go take a shot? I mean, obviously, students will be students and sneak in alcohol, but not that I'm saying people even snuck in alcohol. They were allowed to search your rooms and search if you had alcohol inside, so that's another thing. I did have a mini bar fridge in my room, and my bar fridge literally just had juice and snacks and stuff like that. No alcohol at all. So yeah, you're not allowed alcohol in race. And even if you did want to sneak it in, sometimes you're actually just scared. But what if I sneak in alcohol and then they come and they search my room? All of a sudden I'm getting sat down by the council and the superiors for having a bottle of Chandor in my room, or a bottle of red wine. And it's like, girl, so what if I come back from Long Street and one of the big boys have given me Dom Perignon and I want to keep it in race? So I'm supposed to throw away my Dom Perignon because I can't keep it in race. Yeah, no, I'm just playing. But yeah, so we weren't allowed alcohol in race, which was absolutely crazy. Because guys, the things that make uni fun are things like drinking games and getting high with your friends and stuff like that. And you're not even allowed to do that. We weren't allowed to even like smoke. You can't smoke. I don't smoke, but we had smoke detectors in our room. So like if you wanted to smoke, like let's say you want to smoke shisha, you can definitely not smoke shisha in your room, because that fire alarm is gonna go off and everyone is gonna know that it was your room, because I think it rings in the reception that it's your room. Another thing is privacy. Privacy was definitely a big thing. Like everyone kind of knows what everyone is doing, so everyone kind of knows who's signing in. Like to sign in, boys especially, you had to go to the reception and you had to sign in like what residence he's coming from. You're not allowed to sign in anyone who's not at UCT. That's another thing. You can't sign in, let's say my brother comes from Zimbabwe and I want my brother to come into my room and see it. I'm not allowed to even have my brother inside my place in Cape Town, because you're not allowed to sign in people who aren't at UCT. I can't sign in someone from UWC, even if, let's say I want to study with my friend from UWC. She can't come into UCT race and study with you. So yeah, it was just little things like that. If you wanted to sign in a guy, you'd go to reception, you'd write down his full name and surname, you'd write down his student number, you write down what race he's from, you write down his room number. He has to put a signature, you have to put a signature. 7 different regulations just to sign in one boy. I was like, I'm too grown for this. It just did not sit well with me. I know a lot of people will probably say I'm over exaggerating, but there's no way I was like, I'm gonna go through all those regulations just to sign in one friend. So yeah, there was. And another thing is, you all sign in your people in the same book. So if it says Daddy Somsan who signed in, this person, everyone knows my name and the boy's name, what time he came in. You also have to put what time he came in. That's the 8th thing. What time he came in, what time he goes out. 9 things you had to sign down in that book just to get somebody into race. So yeah, it was just a lot of, everyone kind of knows everyone's sneaky links, I guess, because you can't be natting someone else's guy if you're signing in that same guy in the book that's, yeah, so everybody kind of knows who everyone's sneaky link is. So yeah, those are probably the top reasons why I moved out of race. And then in terms of like the structure, the actual cleanliness of the race, the race was generally a clean place. Gracia is a very nice race. It's very clean. The laundry room is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. The rooms are pretty decent. They're pretty big, especially the double rooms. They're pretty big. I got a single room though, of which first years aren't allowed to have single rooms, and my friends were always bitching about it because I was the only one in my friend group with a single room, of which everyone else had double rooms. But then the double rooms were, because of COVID, they weren't sharing rooms, so you'd have a double room on your own. So I had a single room, and yeah, my single room was pretty nice. Just space. There wasn't a lot of space, and if you've got a lot of things, a lot of clothes, like you won't be able to really fit a lot of your stuff inside. But you just make it work as a student. So I really enjoyed my race experience, but at the same time I also really hated it. I'm not gonna lie, I really hated it sometimes. 7th point is probably hygiene. I'm a very clean person. I know I'm a very clean person. I like to bath. I like to be clean. I like my area to be clean. I don't like dirt around me. I don't like weird smells. I just like to be clean. Do you know what, guys? Let me tell you how clean I am. I am so clean to the point that because we shared showers, there were 6 of us in a cluster, I think. Because we shared showers, people would do their wash day routine and those showers would get clogged. And when those showers get clogged by hair, people do not have the candor to bend down and take their hair out of the drain and unclog the drains. So the drains would get very clogged. I would always tell my friend Tando, did you see the way the drain is clogged? Because now when you're showering, because that drain is clogged, the water is now rising. It's not draining fast enough because the drain is clogged. So the drain was always clogged most of the time, that I went out of my way to go to the shops to buy because I wrote it down in the reception, the drains are clogged and the water is not going down. I wrote down the reception. Maintenance didn't do anything about it. I don't know if they tried, but nobody did anything about it. And then I went to Pick and Pay, and I bought that drain cleaner, that one which breaks down dirt in the drain and then it flushes, and then you just put a lot of water and then it flushes it away. I literally went and I did that on my own. That's how much I like clean things. I don't want the shower to be dirty. I don't want the shower to be clogged, to be messy, for the water to be rising when you're bathing. Now it's like you're standing in a dam because the drain is clogged. So yeah, I went and I bought that stuff, and then I put it in. Well, I only did it for my class. I wasn't about to go around race cleaning showers, so I did it for my class. I did it for the 2 showers that I use the most, which I think people use the most because those 2 are always the ones with hot water. So yeah, I went and I literally put the stuff in, waited for it to disintegrate for like 10 minutes, then I flushed it away with the shower water. So that's literally how I went out of my way to make sure that the shower is clean. Although nobody knows this is actually something that I'm saying now for the first time, but that's how much I just like a clean environment, and I couldn't stand that. Another thing is, ladies, personal hygiene is very important. As a woman, I don't even know how to say this. I'm saying as a woman because brush is a complete female race, so there's no way that anybody can blame it on a boy. As a woman, why are there skid marks in the toilet? As a woman, why are there skid marks in the toilet? Like, make me understand. Make me understand why there are skid marks in the toilet. No. You know what? It got to the point where I actually even went onto the group and I was like, at the time when our cluster rep actually wrote a message on the group about how to toilet hygiene. She sent a link on the YouTube link on toilet hygiene because somebody, I kept complaining about it, but somebody would always leave skid marks in the toilet, guys. Skid marks. There was always shit marks in the toilet, and it's like, guys, we're girls. We shouldn't be doing this. And nobody can go and say, oh no, it was you, Stacy. You're the one who did it, Stacy. It's you can't go and blame someone for leaving skid marks. Like, nobody knows who it was because no one knows what time anyone goes to the toilet. But there's toilet brushes in every toilet, and nobody was like, using them. So personally, I just couldn't stand things like this. And although they tried to send YouTube videos on toilet hygiene, it was just all a lot for me, man. Like, I'm sure this happens in all races. I'm sure it happens in the boys' race. Just let me know down below if you're in race and you've ever experienced skid marks in the bathroom and you're like, guys, come on. Because no, personally, I know people are scared to touch their toilet, but maybe there's some diseases on it, I don't know. But just you just need to fucking clean up after yourself. The way you want to see the toilet is the way you should leave it. And it's also really not nice on the ladies who would come and clean. I remember the bins would always be full, and like people would come and like leave like the marara around the bin. Like, let's say if the bin was full, instead of keeping your trash in your room, because we'd have a huge common bin and then you had your little trash bin in your room. So instead of keeping your trash in your room, because Saturdays and Sundays the ladies who take out the trash wouldn't come, so you would keep your trash in your room until on Monday when they come and collect it in the morning. So sometimes people didn't have that type of patience. Like, that type of patience was not exercised in them, and they would take their trash and just try and force it into the bin which was already full. Then it overflows, everything is now stinking in the common room, and it's like, guys, personal hygiene is something I do not play with. I'm telling you, it's just not something I play with. Personal hygiene, I cannot do bad smells. I cannot do things that are dirty surfaces. I can't do that. It's just one of my biggest icks. I'm not someone who's completely, absolutely, strictly clean. Like, I just pride in myself in having good hygiene, and I think it's very important as ladies, as females, to just try to clean up around ourselves. It's not a nice thing. Boys don't like dirty girls. So my mom's always saying you can't be wearing makeup, but the pauno gara pakashib. My mom's always saying that you can't be wearing makeup, and trying to look slay in Long Street, but the state of your surroundings, Kumba, is not working. So yeah, that was probably another factor that I moved out of UTT race. I'm trying to think of other things. I don't think there's anything else, but those are probably the biggest things. Noise, the hygiene, the food, what else? Freedom. Yeah, those are probably the biggest factors of why I moved out of race. I do miss race. I do miss having friends around. Like, that's probably a pro of being in race. You always have someone to talk to. You always have people to go to. Like, if you can't sleep at night, it's not like here when I can't sleep at night, I'm by myself. I'm just like straight chilling by myself. But like at race, if you can't sleep at night, there was always someone awake. Or someone was always awake. Or you could go and knock on your neighbor's door because like the neighbors are right here. So yeah, there was just always someone awake, someone to do something with. Let me not make this video completely negative. The good things about race, like I said, you have your friends around. I've made like some really good friends in my first year. I made a lot of friends in race, and we're still close up to today. We still go out together. So I would definitely advise you to go into race if you are in first year. It's an experience that you need to go into. I was never a boarder in school. I was always a day scholar, so it was definitely a new experience, and I can't imagine being dumped in Cape Town and living alone. Like the way I'm living now, I would have definitely been super depressed and scared. But because I've tried race before, I think it's just something you should definitely try. I'm not absolutely shunning race, by the way. I'm not saying that you shouldn't go into race because you won't be able to study or anything, but I'm just saying those are things that I did notice. If you are someone that is trying to decide whether you should move into race or whether you should stay in private accommodation. But yeah, that's all I have to say. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, and don't forget to subscribe. If you have any questions, as usual, leave them down in my description box. I reply to every single one of my comments. If you have been in Raise, or if you still are in Raise, just comment down below one thing you hate about Raise. Okay, let's just, you know, start a conversation in my comment section. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll definitely be back with some more content. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.